doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind it. Today I'm in Canterbury, a city known for its cathedral, archbishop, tales, and the brutal murder of Thomas Becket. But in this episode I'm going to be talking about this building here. The more perceptive viewers may notice that this house is a bit wonky, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. That's the only real reason I wanted to show it to you. It's all downhill from here. It's called the Sir John Boyes House and was built in 1617. It's named after, no surprise, John Boyes, who was an MP for Canterbury, Midhurst in Sussex, and Sandwich. Yes, there's a place called Sandwich. It's actually near the village of Ham, which led to this rather amusing road sign. The house is named after John Boyes because it was previously believed he lived there, although that seems unlikely since he died 5 years before it was built. But there were at least 4 other historical figures known as John Boyes who had connections to Canterbury, so it could have actually been named after one of them, I suppose. Or the house was built earlier than 1617, I don't know. When it was first built, the house wasn't crooked, but you may notice that each floor is slightly bigger than the one below it, making it look a bit top-heavy, as if it skipped leg day. This was basically to save money. Back in the 17th century, you had to pay tax depending on how much ground space your house took up. So if you designed your upper stories to be larger than the ground floor, you would have a bigger house for less money. Although in the long run, this of course caused some structural stability issues. So when the house's owners decided to do some renovation work to an internal chimney, the house began slipping sideways. And when they tried to fix this problem, they just ended up making it worse. They never showed that on Extreme Makeover Home Edition. In 1988, the chimney collapsed, and a steel frame was eventually put in place to make sure the house didn't slip anymore. Above the door, there's a quote that reads, "A very old house bulging over the road, leaning forward, trying to see who was passing on the narrow pavement below." This is a quote from the novel The Personal History, Adventures, Experience and Observation of David Copperfield the Younger of Blunderston Rookery, which he never meant to publish on any account. Otherwise known as simply David Copperfield. It describes the Canterbury home of the character Agnes Wickfield. The book's author, Charles Dickens, spent a fair amount of time in Canterbury. He lived in nearby Medway, which I'm sure that despite it being the 19th century was probably a lot nicer then than it is now. Anyway, there's no real evidence to suggest that this was actually the building that inspired Agnes Wickfield's home in David Copperfield. But it's said that when Dickens was once asked which house in Canterbury had served as inspiration, he responded, "Several here would do."